What is good, fam? So, for those of you who may not have known, I was in the Civil Air Patrol for around 6 years. From the age of 12 to 18, it was a big part of my life. And if you don't know what the Civil Air Patrol is, it is pretty much the auxiliary of the Air Force, a civil branch of volunteers who want to learn more about aerospace and practice the excellence that the Air Force and other military branches have. It's not BOCES. It's pretty awesome, and I'm thankful that I was a part of it for the 6 years that I was. With that being said, I have a lot that I learned. And I'll be real, I was looking through some images back in the day of when I was a cadet, and you can see was me and the people, the flight, my squadron. And it was a fun time. We had a good time. We did a lot of volunteer work for airports, for organizations, for parades, search and rescue missions. It was a really fun time, and I'm thankful that I had the opportunity to volunteer for you know, at through my childhood, I guess. It was really, really great experience. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what I learned. I hope that this will provide value to you and just bring bigger perspective. I think the biggest thing that I learned being in the Civil Air Patrol was discipline and the four core values that the Civil Air Patrol run by, CAP for short: integrity, volunteer service, excellence, and respect. And I'm so thankful that growing up, again, I was homeschooled, so this was kind of my form of social schooling in a odd sense of how society worked. And I learned a lot, especially with those core values, and it helped me in understanding that I also have my own core values. And yeah, they resonate very closely with those of Civil Air Patrol. And, Good Viber, we like to talk about love, light, joy, peace, because those are beautiful good vibes, good values. But yeah, all right, I wanted to hopefully break down what I learned physically, mentally, and spiritually in Civil Air Patrol. And let's just hop into it, okay? So, physically, I learned a lot about discipline. I learned that I can push myself. Like, I can run a mile and I'll be okay. Like, I can do a lot more push-ups than maybe I may think. I think the most I've ever done in one go is 70. And I'm thankful that I was given the opportunity to learn in a group physically. You are a part of the whole. You are a part of the flight. So when, if you're running, you have to stay within that flight. You have to stay within that formation. And I think that taught me a lot about motivation and working with others and understanding my limits, understanding other people's limits, and being able to push through that. Because overall, mind over matter, it is absolutely a big thing when you're doing any kind of physical training. And I think that if you do, you know what I'm talking about. What else did I learn? When I first joined my squadron, it was a really interesting situation. Me and my sister joined, and we were the only females in my flight for a while. She joined a year before me, and I joined as soon as I could when I turned 12. And I joined Civil Air Patrol because I didn't want to wash the dishes, and it just so happened that it lined up on the night that I had to wash the dishes. And so I got out of washing the dishes, for the years I was in there. I didn't actually get out of washing the dishes, though. I just found myself now washing dishes for 200 people in a more organized yet chaotic way. So, good job, Esther, on that one. The Civil Air Patrol taught me a lot about my own, being. I never really thought very much about, I guess, who I was. Or, I just was like, I was learning. I was 12, when I joined. I didn't really think much about it. society and how to interact with people. But I became very self-conscious being the only female, being one of the two females in like the flight, the squadron. Um, and then it also made me think of my limitations, and it made me become more disciplined and even respect those that didn't respect me, which is a big lesson that I'm thankful that I learned, because at the end of the day, it's really just about you and the reflection that you put out into the world. Yeah, that was a big one. I feel like this is a bit scattered. I honestly haven't thought too much about these years in my life and development, but it was definitely something that contributed a lot to the person that I am today. And I'm so thankful that I joined Civil Air Patrol. It taught me so much. So yeah, on with the last note on the physical. Of what I really learned was I like being able to express myself physically. I like to being able to I guess my throat chakra likes to use visual things. Like I did my makeup and it really reminded me, like, obviously this is against uniform regulation, my hair is against uniform regulation, like many things. My nails are not, actually, because I don't have them painted right now. But I remember one of the struggles that I really had with being in this organization was they had really strict uniform regulations, because you have to be a part of the flight, you have to be uniform with everyone else. And to me, like, it was fine. We had composure tests where you would just stand there and they would try to break your focus from being at attention. And you would have to just keep looking 30 degrees above the horizon with a blank look on your face as if nothing is fazing you. And what I really got me was I would have all of these thoughts in my mind, and I would just, let me hold that for the mental, but it was the physical. I was able to express myself in my mind. I was still able to talk to myself in my mind and have all of the stuff going on, but it just couldn't outwardly express it, and that was something that kind of felt suffocating to me. And there is a beauty being in a group and being able to represent the whole of the group and hold that integrity with how you represent yourself. But I remember I started to paint a lot, and I would paint on my nails, and that was a big problem. You can't have little pictures of Nyan Cat on your nails or anything like that, And that was a big thing. Also, I started experimenting more with my hair, doing extensions or whatnot, and the regulations are pretty strict. So that was one of the things that it kind of felt like something was missing in my own expression, which I might not have even noticed if I wasn't put in a situation where it was so noticeable. If you had painted your nails, if you had your hair touching your ears. So that for me really helped me understand the own kind of style and the way that I feel most comfy presenting myself and appearing in the world. What I will say mentally is that the Civil Air Patrol helped me very much with discipline, with waking up on time, showing up, having integrity, doing what I say I'm going to do, and showing up for the team and being a team player, having servant leadership, and just having that integrity and that respect that, again, sometimes people don't show you, but you still have to keep your composure. So mentally, it helped me be able to be calm in stressful situations. It definitely helped train me. So I'll give, for instance, when I was a medical officer in charge for the New York Wing encampment, which is kind of like their version of a boot camp you needed in order to ever become an officer. And being in that position, I was in charge of ensuring all of the 200 plus cadets' health, in addition to the staff members' health, and making sure that all of their records were put away, and that everybody who needed daily check-ins or couple hour check-ins were getting that. And it was a stressful time because mentally they stimulate the stress that is put on you when you're in the service. And I have so much respect for those that are in the service. And again, this is a civil air patrol. It is a civil volunteer auxiliary of the Air Force. It is a part of that, so it's different, but the stress is there to stimulate it. And there were times where I'd get like 2 hours of sleep. I would go to sleep around 2 and I'd wake up around 4, and then by 4:30 everybody has to be up. I have to be up and get the water and make sure that like the Gatorades are there, and anybody who has to take their medication, that it's all recorded and stuff like that. And functioning like that for 10 days, it taught me a lot about the limits of my mind and how far a human being can go, and also how fragile we can be at times. Again, like, we were just kind of kids, we were, for the most part, all the cadets were all under the age of 18, 21, I think was the oldest you could be a cadet. And yeah, it was just a lot. Personally, like, I didn't even have time to really process it. But there would be these vent sessions, and I learned a lot through the vent sessions. The vent sessions would really just be, the officers in charge and, the squadron commanders and stuff, and they would just have, during their break, they just come together and they just kind of vent. And mentally, this helped a lot. This helped us know where they're at, what's going on mentally, if they need a little extra break and we need to cover them. If, there's a certain problem that's kind of starting to arise that we need to bring awareness to. And so the event sessions were something that I think kept everybody sane, because it gave them a moment to just let it all out and to be human for a second before we go back to attention and really drilling that. It was a moment where we could just be and to just share what was going on. And I think that was super healthy, and something mentally helped me understand the importance of having a space to vent, having a space to let that energy go, because things just happen. Like, it was very chaotic, very stressful. You rush to wait, kinda. And so having that time to just be like, all right, this is what's happened, this is how I'm processing it, this is what's coming up, I think was so beautiful, and something that I will continue for the rest of my days. I like having a nice event session, and that's why in the Discord chat, that's why we have heart to hearts. If you're in Discord, totally join our heart to hearts. They're on Thursday nights, and if you haven't joined Discord yet, here's your invitation to do so. Link in description. But yeah, being able to have these vent sessions really helped a lot. Mentally, just having composure when people would blatantly disrespect you or haze you or just do something that maybe if you were in another situation, if you were in a normal civil situation, maybe you throw hands, but having that composure mentally to take the BS sometimes that was thrown at you and to just do it, just shut up and do it, do what you're here to do, to humble yourself enough to do it. Mentally, that took a lot, but it taught me also a lot. It taught me the importance of being humble, because those leaders that would blow up and be like, no, this is beyond my rank, I'm not going to do this, like, nobody had respect for them, really. And honestly, I mean, sure, they would still show them the respect that their insignia told them to, but really, as a human, I don't think the respect was really there as those that remained humble and shut up and just looked down and did their work, and knew it was better. Sometimes it's okay to fight, and I absolutely think that, yes, but sometimes it's just not worth it. It's just not worth the energy, and I respect that, and I appreciate that I was able to learn that kind of structure, and just being able to have the mental capacity to not let the external affect you as much, even if it's chaotic, even if people are it's chaotic. Being able to go in this place where you're like, yes, actually, um, I'm focused. I can do this. There are people that are relying on me, and I will do my best to serve them. Yeah. You volunteer with your feet. It's a volunteer organization, so nobody's forcing you to stay. And I think mentally you have to give yourself that permission to take responsibility, even when things go bad. And this brings me on to leadership. There's so much, there's a lot emphasis on leadership in this organization, and um, being able to admit to your team when you don't have a clear picture isn't always don't do that. At least let them know that you have a clear picture, that you don't have a clear picture. But having that confidence, I think mentally, when you're leading people, I'm dyslexic, and when I'm leading, people through marches, and I make a wrong turn, I don't say no. Trust me, I got yelled at for that. Don't even, if you make a mistake, make it look like you did it on purpose and then correct your mistake. That's what I learned. So if I make a wrong turn, we're going to quickly do a flank and we're going to fix ourselves. And that's that. And so that helps, mentally it makes everything seem like, okay, this happened for a reason. I'm going to tell them it happened for a reason, and then we're going to fix it. um but of course, it's kind of faking it till you make it. You get my drift, but you don't want everyone to be chaotic and lose trust in the person leading. So trusting that you yourself can direct them, and then even if you make a mistake, trusting that you can correct it, I think is a really big thing that I learned in the auxiliary of the Air Force and the Civil Air Patrol. Spiritually, I learned the importance of community. I learned how much you can do with others when you put your mind to it, and how much we can learn from one another. I learned the importance of speaking up, because I guess I'm a bit of a more passive person. I don't really speak up that much. I'm not, who? I'm not like trying to, I don't know, I don't feel like I'm that intimidating. And this was something that was a big struggle I had when I was a drill sergeant and a deputy cadet commander, an officer in charge, because people just didn't feel like I had the authoritative aura around me in the way that typically is seen. So that was a big thing spiritually. I had to learn to use my voice, use my diaphragm, and I would be reminded of this every time I sounded off a command. My commander would be like, use your voice, Sherry, use your voice, right? And it was just like, yes, sir. And they'd be like, say again, like, yes, sir. It's like, whoa, you have to really, sorry for yelling. Yeah, see, this is just the person I am. But I learned to have confidence in commanding others, because why would anybody listen to you if you're going to command them and be like, hey, can you do this? But maybe like, yeah, it's just like, then that's asking them. If you're commanding someone, then make it sound like a command. And that's something I really learned. I have this tendency of saying things and then it comes off as kind of a question, because I'm uncertain. And spiritually, this helped me solidify and understand how to even execute with communication, how to clearly communicate things. That, if it's a question, it's a question. If it's a command, it's a command. And I'm still learning, but I've had a lot of experience, and it definitely highlighted the importance of communicating clearly and just having that confidence to back up your voice, because that's really what people are listening to and obeying the commands of, the confidence that you're using, the energy that's backing up your voice. So those are some of the lessons I learned in Civil Air Patrol. Yeah, there's a whole bunch more, but those are the gold nuggets that are coming to mind right now. Again, I have so much respect for those who serve in any branch of the military, and going through the training that you do, and just the self-development and discipline. A lot of respect there, and I hope that you continue. I remember I was so pumped being able to wake up at like 4:30 in the morning and like go run a mile. I was like, I want to keep this habit for the rest of my life. And here we are. But definitely there's so much that you can learn through every situation. At the time, I honestly got into a bit of a depression because I felt trapped for a bit, and the power struggle is a thing that I just didn't like. I don't like that. So, yeah, but I learned a lot. And this is just a reminder that wherever you go, there's so much that you can learn and apply in whatever you do, and that every single experience is there for your betterment. It's there to assist you in learning how you can best serve for your mission here on Earth. So, yeah, let me know, did any of this resonate with you? If you serve, I would love to know what you've learned along the way. And again, so much respect and thank you, all beings, for your service. I appreciate you for taking some time, and I hope this video gave you some food for thought. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Let me know if you'd like me to expand more upon this, and we will see you later. Namaste. God bless.